Welcome everyone. Give me just a minute while I get my camera fixed. I thought I had this organized. All right, welcome. This is Dawn Duval with Shall We Stamp. I've been doing this craziness for about 12 years and I live in Fort Myers, Florida, but this is pre-recorded and will be showing on September 26th of 2023. I am in the Williamsburg, Virginia area visiting family after going to a friend's daughter's wedding. And I'll be back sometime towards the end of, well, actually, no, I'll be back in a couple of days. So I don't know what's going on. I haven't started yet, really. Okay. So last week, we did the pickleball card, or cards, I should say. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed the other classes that I've done online, as well as the technique classes. I did the faux silk. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that one as well. And so first thing, let me just do a little bit of housekeeping. We have a tutorial bundle. So if you place $50 or more in orders, in an order, I should say, if you place an order of $50 or more through my online store, then you will receive a tutorial bundle of approximate 35 to 42. As of today, I don't have that yet. The lady that's one of the people that's working on it are still putting everything together. So once you place an order and I am notified by email, then I will get that sent to you by, I'll send that to you by email as well. You can download it to your computer, save it to a Dropbox or whatever, but it gives you a lot of great information. You can copy them. Actually, two of the cards that I'm making is one of the sets that I did a couple of months ago. So just to let you know that. I do have a host code for the month of September, and when I flip the camera down, you'll be able to see that. I want to make sure, if you are watching on Facebook, to please make sure that you like my page and share it. That's awesome for me. Sharing helps me to reach out to other paper crafters that hopefully will enjoy my craziness and goofiness, whatever. And then if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and click the bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And I'm trying to upload at least 1 to 2 a week. And you can visit my blog, and all of this information is located down below in the information sheet, which has all of the information as far as my blog and how to reach me by email, text messaging, my Facebook page, YouTube, and all that good stuff. So, all right, let's get started. We're making some really cute cards this evening. And the one I'm getting ready to show you, I was really baffled in how you make it. And it's just an optical illusion in a sense. So I thought it was something that's going to be really, really hard. And y'all have maybe made this. I haven't. So this is my first time, and that's what we're going to do. So let me flip the camera down. If you're running late, you'll have to just catch the replay and catch up after. You can just catch up afterwards. So let's get started. Again, I'm Dawn Duval, and this is the card that I don't even know what it's called, to be honest with you. Oh, it's called a faux, this person calls it a faux shutter card. Well, I honestly thought, I'm thinking, how am I going to cut all these triangles and stuff to get on this card? That looks really difficult. Well, it's not that hard to do. So we are going to make this evening. So let's get started. I'm going to bring in all of my supplies. I'm going to give you the measurements so you can make sure you write these down or come back and watch it later. I'm going to move this off the side. Now I did put a turtle on the inside as well. So I'm going to set this over here off to the side a little bit. We're going to start with 8.5 by 5.5 piece of basic black cardstock. And I am going to shock y'all because I'm going to use my paper trimmer to do my scoring. I always fold it in half, but I thought, well, tonight I'll go ahead and use my paper trimmer. Now this is will be scored, since it's 5.5 by 8.5. Half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. So we're going to score it at 4 1/4. You know, and I always say this to you guys, the one thing you never knew about paper crafting was you're going to have to know math, right? We got to know our math when it comes to our crafting. We have to use a lot of 8s and 16ths and quarters and all that fun stuff. So that's the base of our cardstock, and we're going to leave that right there for just a minute. Now we're going to come in with a piece of lemon lime twist. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I've used the nested element dies, and you're going to cut out the I think it's the second and third from the smallest. You're going to die cut these, the smallest one in white, and then the other one, it's like 2 inches. This will be in the lemon lime as well. Now we're going to stamp our sentiment in this, but this is going to be at an, if you see right here, it's at a triangle, right? So make sure you don't do what I did, because when I first stamped this, I stamped it the normal way, right? Well, that doesn't work. So we need to stamp it with it being on the diagonal. So I'm going to place it right here on my grid sheet, and I am pulling in a sentiment from the Charming Sentiments, and this is one that I think I used last week. This is a $1 Million Achiever. Well, she's done more than a million. Lisa Curcio, but we're going to work with the one that says Just For You, and I'm going to stamp that in Memento Black. So let me get my ink. Let me get my stamp in here. We'll ink it up, and I put extra ink on here. Okay, no, probably got too much, but all right. So we're going to stamp this at a diagonal. So you just want to keep your triangle. And if you line it up, it's easier, you know, just to keep it for eye's sake. And then I'm just going to stamp this straight down. And this, again, is in basic black. So we're going to put that right over there. Let me move this out of the way. Cover up the ink. Okay, now we're going to attach this with our liquid glue, our multi-purpose glue. And that might be a little bit much on there. So I'm going to bring my craft mat in just in case we need it. All right, so hopefully you can see over here. I'm going to add this to the center of the card and just kind of make sure it's even. Just kind of line up your, your points, and it makes it's pretty easy. It's really an easy card once you know how to make it. I really thought there was more to it, but it's not. I've got a little smudge there, but we're going to cover that up, so that's not a big deal. I'll find something to cover it up with. So the main thing, what we're going to do now, and this is where the craft mat's going to come into play. We're going to put this in the center of the card, and you can tape it down if you want. I'm just going to leave it there because I'm pretty... actually, we can go ahead and glue it down. Why don't we do that? Let's glue this down. And again, we're going to use our liquid glue, or you can use your seal, whatever is your favorite adhesive. All right, so let's put this in the center, as close to center as that we can get. You know, we're just going to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact, but just try to make sure looks like you got the same space on each side and top to bottom, and I think we're okay with that. Okay, so here's the trick. How many of y'all have made this card before? Have you made it before? Well, I haven't, so I did not know this. So what we're going to do, you're going to make 4 of these 1/4 inch strips, and I'm pretty confident this is a 1/4. Let me just make sure I don't want to yeah, 4 1/4 inch strips by 5. Now 5 inches is going to be too long, but we just want to make sure we have enough when we have to roll it. Go across the paper, and you do want to use your craft mat, because your silicone mat, and that will keep the glue from getting all over everywhere. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this right here. So I'm going to add some adhesive to my little strip here, and you don't need a lot, just enough to hold it down. All right, and then I'm lining this up at the corner of my triangle. All right, so right at that square, I'm just going to butt it up to the square and lay it down, and then just push it down, and it's going to come off the edge. We're going to cut that off. Okay, I had no idea this is how you did this. I was shocked. I really was shocked. I had no idea. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and you can do this in any order that you want, but you want to have one to start with, because this one has to butt up to here, and then it's going to go all the way that way. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive to this one, and we want to make sure we get enough on there. And then I'll trim all of these off once we get all 4 of them on here, okay? So now again, what we're going to do is we're going to butt this up to this square that's been whoopsie, hang on, gotta hold my finger on it. it's going to butt up to this stitched die there, okay? And then we've got that, and again, we'll go back and cut those off in just a minute. And you see how easy this is. So the next one, we're going to go this way, right? And then that one's going to come off over here. So we'll go ahead and add our adhesive to this one. This one we probably won't need a whole lot because we should have enough to get us to the edge. So again, we're going to butt it up to the black, back up to the bottom of that stitched square, and just make sure it's glued all the way to the edge of your card. Okay, see how easy this is? I really thought it was going to be more complicated. All right, and then this one, we're going to add adhesive so we can get it all the way over here. I'm going to turn it a little bit just so that I can see what I'm doing. And again, we're buttoning it up, putting it all the way to the edge there, and then right there. And that's so simple. I thought it was going to be so daggone hard. And I kept looking at these cards made with this, and I was trying to figure out how are they doing it. And the ones that I looked at never gave me any instructions of how they did it. So that was a little frustrating. But now, now I see it's very, very simple. So you're going to see probably some more of these cards at some point in time. All right, so we're going to trim this one off. Whoops, I got, oh no, I cut a piece of my cardstock. I wasn't paying attention, I was too busy talking, but we're going to put that right there and no one's going to know the difference. Okay, so let me cut this before I keep talking. All right, so you just want to bring your scissors up right to the edge of your card and snip it off. Don't do what I just did and snip part of your cardstock. And then I'm just going to throw these away because they all have glue on them. All right, and then there is the base of our card. This is what is so simple. Okay, so we're going to leave that for just a moment. Oh, yeah, and I need to get a piece of white. Hang on, I got it right here. Okay, so now we're going to take, and we're using the Sea Turtle stamp set, and we're going to use the little one. We're going to use the little guy, and we're going to stamp him using Garden Green, and we're stamping him on the Lemon Lime Twist cardstock. And we're going to stamp 3 times. And Fussy Cut, that's what these old turtles, we stamped them in Garden Green, and then we're going to Fussy Cut those out. And then there's one on the inside that these are up on dimensionals, and then this one's laid flat. Okay? Now you can, if you have that stamp set, you can add some of the little fishies around him if you want in here. It's up to you, however you want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp 3. We're going to get 3 of these turtles on here. And this is an easy way. So this is one of those 2-step where you can flip it over. It's a reversible stamp. I shouldn't say 2-step. It's a reversible. So you can stamp the body. You flip this over so the smooth part, and you can stamp that in any particular color you want, and then clean that, flip it over to the rough part, and this gives you the outline and the of the turtle shell. So this is an easy way because you only have to use the one color. So we're stamping on Lemon Lime Twist, and we're using Garden Green. So look at that. Isn't that something? So there's another tip for you today. I'm just full of it, aren't I? And don't say what I know what you're thinking. All right, then we're going to do one more because we want to have 3 of these guys. All right, and then I'm going to Fussy Cut those out. I did not do that in advance. I just thought that if I didn't, this video would probably be done in like 2 seconds. So, all right, got that cleaned off. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut these little guys out. It doesn't take that long to Fussy Cut these. And we will, y'all can just watch me, and one of the things you want to do is push your, make sure your scissors are cleaned. I just wiped all the glue off. You want to keep the paper towards the back of the snips, of your paper snips, and that helps you maneuver. And then just get as close, you know, however much. You don't want a big old gap, but you do want to have a little bit of color between the picture than you do without. So you want a little bit of the cardstock and color in between. So all you want to do is just hold it and go slow, and then you want to turn your paper rather than your scissors. So it's a lot easier if you turn your paper and just kind of go with the flow with your paper snips and just snip along. It is a little slow going, but If you take your time, it will come out, it should come out and look pretty nice, like you've used an actual paper, you know, like a cutter or a die. One of the things that I sometimes will do is cut off this excess, but I don't want to do it when I'm going around the head or anything that's kind of got like an arc or a circle effect, only because sometimes it won't cut. When you come back, it doesn't, you're not in the right place where you were before you took your scissors off, okay? So I'm just going to keep trimming around and turning my paper. I'm lifting my scissors or my paper snips as I go, and just trying to follow the outline of the turtle and getting him cut. And I know it's a little monotonous, but I should have probably just done, I should have cut them all before I got on here, all but one. But I wasn't thinking. All right, now I'm gonna cut that off because it's getting too much. It's getting in my way. All right, so again, we're just gonna come around and just trim and turn and just keep trimming while we're turning our paper. And then we should come out with a pretty decent looking turtle. All right, so there's one. All right, now we've got a couple more to go. We've got 2 more to go. Okay, so we'll come in and just start wherever it's comfortable with you. You know what you feel comfortable starting. I always start, usually I start towards the bottom. I don't know. It's just how I hold the cardstock. All right, so let's just do that. And then you get into one of these long stretches, which makes it really nice. I know it's silence. I'm concentrating. All right, so tell me, how many of you enjoy fussy cutting? How many of you enjoy doing this? Fussy cutting. You know, there are some people out here in the crafting world that love to fussy cut. I'm not going to say I love it. I do it because sometimes you have to, but I don't think I do it as good as others do. But I find if I try to go too fast, then I do find that it doesn't cut. My cuts, when I get it done, don't look as nice as they do when I take my time. But I know there's several people that I've spoke to over the years that love to do this. And I'm thinking, more power to you people. So they have patience. That's why. I don't always have patience. All right, so we're going to come down to the last one. And we're going to start with his little foot here. Or fin, whatever you want to call it. What are they called in the turtle? It's his fin? It's his foot. Right? Anyways, okay, so here we go. Down to the last one. And then we'll almost be done with this card. And then I have another neat card too that I really like. And I hope you enjoy it. It's I'm not using any holiday stuff yet, as you can tell. When I get back, we will start doing some fall cards. I placed my initial order, and you really have to be careful when you guys are placing an order if you're getting a bundle, because sometimes the bundle is off. If you hit one number off, you're going to get something that's not bundled. And I ordered one of the autumn, I think it was the autumn leaves, and when I went through my order, I had the dies, and I thought, well, where the hell is my stamp set? So I called demonstrator support, and guess what Dawny did? Dawn put a 6 or a 5 instead of a 6 or whatever the number is. I changed for whatever reason. Don't ask me why. Probably because I was typing fast or whatever. I typed the last number wrong, so instead of getting the bundle, I got the dies. So guess what? In order to get that 10% discount, right, on a bundle, I have to return the stamps, return the dies, and then on that same paper, you return it, and then you can reorder what you want to replace it. So that's what I had to do. So hopefully those will be here before. They'll be here. They should be here when I get back. And if they're not, we're in trouble. But yeah, they should be here. Actually, they should be coming before I've actually left. Hopefully. All right, so there's our 3 little turtles. I think I did pretty good on those little guys. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we've got that done, right? And here's our card. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place this on our card base. And this is just going to get glued down. And then we're going to add our turtles using dimensionals. Okay, so we want the 2 on the front to pop up some. And we're going to place this down here. And we should have a small border. Again, this lemon lime twist is 4 by 5 1/4. I'll push that over a little bit. And you don't even know that I snipped the top of my card. All right, and then we're going to take some dimensionals and put those on 2 of our turtles. We'll put one there and one there. And then we're going to put those on our card. And you can have them going whatever direction you want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to have him going this way here, and his arms kind of, I don't want him over the edge. So keep in mind when you lay him, you don't want his fin going over the edge, okay? And then this one's going to be at the bottom, and he is going to be facing the other direction. So we'll have him going right about, I'm going to put him, see how I got his head a little crooked, but that's all right. I'm going to put him right like this. You know why? His fin's going to cover that little dot for me. So I'm going to do that like that. All right, so he's going this way, that guy's going this way. And then this one, for the inside, I'm going to put this one with just some glue. And then you can write your sentiment or type, stamp whatever you want to stamp in your, for the inside of the card. I'm going to leave it blank for now. And I am going to put him probably like this. Make sure he's not hanging off the edge of the paper. All right, and then make sure he's down. Add some adhesive. And this card is almost finished. Isn't that easy? So tell me what y'all think about the card. So we're going to add this. Again, the inside piece is 4 by 5 1/4. And this is just your normal basic white cardstock. Now, isn't that cute? And it didn't take that long. And you can add some embellishments if you want to. But I just love this card. I had no idea, because it's very deceiving, right? It looks like you've got the black card base coming through when it's really these strips. Can you believe that? So there's our first card with the turtle on the inside. All right, so there you go. And that's working with the Sea Turtle stamp set and Garden Green ink for the turtles. All right, so let's move. I'm going to put him over here. Let's move this out of the way. Now we're going to come in and we're going to work with the Inked and Tile stamp set. Let me pull that in here. Now this stamp set is one that I just recently ordered, so I haven't done anything with it, and I'm so excited. You know, I've seen a lot, I've used the paper a lot, but I never ordered the stamp set, and I just decided I was going to order it. I had some extra money from, I think, Celebration or something, where, you know, you got so many dollars for Celebration to get free stuff. And so I thought I would use that, and I did. And I just love this. And the card I'm making is absolutely stunning. So this is a cling stamp set, which means it's, excuse me, red rubber. And you have this little swooshy thing. And I know that you all have seen cards made with this. And you got these beautiful flower there and the little buds here, and I'm not sure what that thing is, and then leaves and another little flower, and then some really nice sentiments. And this is 12 stamp sets in here, and it does have coordinating, no, does this have, yes, I think it does have coordinating dies, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so let me show you the card that we're going to be making. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at that. This is Blueberry Bushel, and I decided to use lemon lolly for the yellow, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like that or not, but it really looks nice. I just love that. I love it. So this is what we're going to make. Again, it's a very easy card, you guys. These are some, if you have, you know, if you want to make a bunch of cards, this really isn't that hard to do. So this is what we're going to make. I'm just excited about this. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, guess what? We're going to fold our cardstock, and let me move my stamp set out of the way because I've already got everything on the blocks that we need. And I'm going to show you a couple of little tricks of what we're going to do. All right, we need to score this. So the blueberry bushel is the card base, 5.5 by 8.5, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4. So if you're using the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, then you want to make sure you've got your paper butted up to the head up here. And the reason, or you can do it at the bottom, whichever. Some people do the bottom, I just do the top. Bottom might be easier because you can actually see it. But you want to butt it up because you don't want this to be crooked, so when you cut, you might have a little bit of an angle there. So you want to line it up right to the 4 1/4 mark. Make sure, as I'm talking, I've got it on the right one. Make sure you got your scoring blade, which is the light one, and we're going to pull that down and score. You probably only need to do it once or twice, but I just always do 3 or 4 times. And then we're going to fold it, and people always ask me, does it matter which way you fold it? No. I just say fold it like this one actually folded it perfect. It's lined up. Sometimes I have to take it and flip the paper the other way because it doesn't, when you fold it, it's got like a real small, like a, you know, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, a real, like a hair, that it's not even. But if you turn it around the other way, it works its way out. And don't ask me how that works, but it does. So, all right, blueberry bushel. Then the next thing that I did was we're going to take another piece of blueberry bushel at 4 by 5 1/4, and I ran this through the time-worn type. Boy, that's a mouthful, isn't it? That's a tongue twister. Time-worn type 3D embossing folder. I really like it. Just has got a lot of lifted. Look at that, my fingernails are, I need to get my fingernails done. Don't look at my nails. My polish is coming off. It's got some writing in there, and then it's got some real lifted, raised marks and writing and stuff. I just really like it. It just gives it, so it doesn't look like you're laying it on a piece of plain cardstock. So if you can see that, hopefully the lighting is good. But this is what, you know, see how bare that is? That's kind of plain Jane, right? And then you add that to it. It makes a big difference, okay? All right, so that, we're gonna save that right now because first we need to stamp our sentiment. I'm sorry, yeah, stamp our design. So let me pull in a piece of paper because we're going to get some ink all over. Now, one of the things that we're using is the deckled rectangles. They're out, I think this is the first year they've come out with these, if I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to that. So you want to use the one that is, I think it's the second and third, and you want to layer them, like you take a piece of like 4 by 5 1/4 piece of paper, because it's going to cut them anyways, right? Actually, no. You are going to layer them. The frame is 3.5 by 4 3/4. You can make it a little bit bigger because this is going to get cut out anyways. So what you want to do is take your frames, and they're on the other side of the table, and just lay the one down, and then you've got your white piece of cardstock, so lay the larger one down first and then the smaller one inside, and then it's going to cut it like this for you, okay? And we're going to use this one to stamp our image. So we're going to just set this guy off to the side for just a moment, and we're going to come in with the leaf stamp set, and hang on, what did I do with him? Where's my leaf? Hold on, did I put him back? Nope. All right, I got my flowers. I got my sentiment. Hold on, I think I lost my leaf. Oh, he's probably sitting on, he's sitting on the other side. Hold on a minute. Well, he's over here with the decals. He's with the decals, so I'll bring them back over. So if you're somebody that's just starting out, this is what makes it look like we know what we're doing. It makes, and now people say, gosh, I can't do all that. Well, yes, you can, because Stampin' Up! Makes it dummy proof. Everything is color coordinated. Look at all the ink, all the paper, and the designer paper, all that, the twine, it all color coordinates. And then you use these dies with the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine or the mini, and it cuts it out. So on this one, we are using, I think it's 2 and 3. It's going to be the second. I know it's the third one, so that's that one. And then this, so it's the second and third largest. Okay, so we're going to pretend this is not cut. And what you'll do, if you haven't done this before, if you're going to have a bigger piece of white, right? So let's just, hang on, let me just grab a piece of white. All right, this is 4 by 5 1/4. So you're going to lay that there. And you can tape this down if you want. And this is the out, this is the larger one. You can tape it down. If you want to tape the larger one down with some positioning tape, you can. And then you just want to leave enough of a gap between the two. And then run it through the machine. And then you come out with this, with your paper, which is deckled, which is all kind of, looks like it's been, you know, cut all whacked out, right? Okay, so we're going to do that. Let me put these guys back here. Now, so we're going to take our leaf set. Now this is and I showed you the stamp set. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Lemon Lolly ink, and I have to get it because apparently I put it back when I was done making my card. Okay. All right, so we're going to take our Lemon Lolly, and I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't get that in my way. We're going to ink up our piece right here, and we're going to stamp this leaf on the right side and around the bottom. Now, how you want to stamp it, there's no right or wrong way. You just do what you want. So I'm just trying to get enough of the leaf on here and leaving me room so that I can put some more below it. All right, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep doing it down here. I think I'm going to come this way and leave some off. You can see I've got that. And now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do this one a little bit. I'm going to stamp off of this, but I do want to have some leaves going this way as well. It's kind of like I'm trying to make like a little hole there, okay? So that's what I did. There, again, no right or wrong way. You do what you want, right? All right, so let's cover up our lolly, Lemon Lolly. Let me wipe this off real quick. Give me 1 second here. I just really love this stamp set. You're going to see more cards. I don't know. I loved seeing it, and I never bought it, and then I bought it, and now I'm happy. Now, I took, we're going to put some dots on here, and I took this out of the, what stamp set did I take it out of? Hold on. You know, you'd think I should have all this organized, right? No, that's not how it works in a craft room. Y'all know that. Oh, here it is, the Quiet Meadow. See, it's right behind me. Quiet Meadow. I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to take up time. And I closed the Lemon Lolly because we still need it. All right. This is from the Quiet Meadow. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm just going to use parts of it because I want to get some dots in here. So I'm going to just, however you want to put your dots, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to place some where there's some openings. And I might do a little bit right here just to give it some dots. And then I know I'm going to stamp some flowers over there. So I'm just going to put a little bit over on the edges, maybe a little bit right here. Okay? So that's all I'm going to do with the dots. All right, then we're going to come in. Let me clean that off. Now I'm going to come in with my, next is I'm going to do my flower. Okay? Now, we are going to take and ink up, only want to ink these 2 leaves. Now, if you have the Stampin' Right marker, I don't even know, I haven't even checked to see, I assume that comes in that. That's kind of dumb, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my ink pad, and I'm only going to place it right on these 2 right here. Then I'm going to use my Granny Apple Green Stampin' Right marker to color my stems and my leaves. So what you want to do is you can either do it this way, because I can see where my flower is and put it right on the edge of the stamp. See how I could do that? Or if you're not comfortable, you could actually do it this way, because you can see where your ink goes, right? So we could just do some little tapping and try to not get below. All right, so there you go. Now I got a little bit much ink right there. So I am going to, because I can see it kind of spooling, so I'm just going to lightly, just lightly put that there, and I should still have enough to stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and then using the large tip, from the Granny Apple Green Stampin' Right marker. Do not use your blends. Blends are alcohol based. They will stain and the color will not come off. This is water based, so it wipes right off. And then I'm just going to come down and color my leaves and my stems. This is the nice thing about these markers, and I think I've told you all this before. When I first started stamping, I went to a lady's house and we took turns being hostess every month. You had to join, 6 months. Anyways, each paid 20. You had to order $25 in product, and then each month there was a different hostess. So the first thing I did is I saved up. I wanted to get all of the 48 markers, but it was like 90 some dollars back in them days. And so when it was my month to do hostess, that's when I ordered my markers, because I knew I would get credit for my order and everybody else's order. So you figure if there were 6 people, that's $150. That's 15 plus however everybody always ordered more than they needed to, right? So I'm going to huff on this to re-moisten the ink. But that's what I did, and that gave me the ability to have all of the flowers, all of the colors that I wanted, and it allowed me to be able to color my stamps, because at that time we didn't have photopolymer. So I'm just going to stamp this up in this area where there's some white space and then have it angled. So I started out buying the full set of Stampin' Right markers, which gave me the ability to have all the colors that I needed to color. So it really did help a lot. And then as I saved money up, then I could buy the ink pads and as I went along. So that was really a great thing to do. If you know somebody that, if you want the markers, then you might want to consider, we could do a hostess, like a mystery hostess party, or you could be the hostess, and you don't have to do it at your house. We could do it by Zoom, which means you would get people there, and then we get them to place orders, and then you could get your markers depending on how much money they spend. And we could tell them they have to order a certain amount, or get a stamp, order a kit or something, and we could do a kit class or whatever. So there's different ways that you can do it, but it's a great way to be able to get something that you want, even if you have to pay a smaller amount than the full price. So we've got this. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, now, isn't that pretty? Look how that green, just how it goes on. And these are supposed to look like they're, kind of splattered. Now we're going to take, and this is another technique that you can do with your Stampin' Right markers. We're going to do the splattering technique. And that's where you're going to take your, let me move this out of the way. You're going to take your the fat tip, and always remember you've got the line here, which is thicker, is your bigger tip, and the line down here, it only took me a year to realize this. This is the smaller tip, and that little line tells you that, okay? So what you want to do is you want to put your big tip inside the cap, and you want to flick it on your paper. You've got to hold your cap kind of positioned. You can practice, and once you do it once, you'll see where your ink is flying. So mine's going all up there, so I'm going to move this around some. So you just want to flick and flick. See how I got some green spots there? So that's another way that you can flick your marker to get some, just to give you some spots on there. And I think what I'd like to do, because now that I look at this, I didn't put as many yellow dots on here. So I'm going to come back and do a little bit more. I'm going to put some more inside inside my flower. So let me get my dots, and I want to put some right. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put some there and do about like, I want that. There we go. Because that looked a little plain. I want to make sure we got some dots in there. All right, so now we did our flickering. So that added a little bit color, a little bit of the green, which is a really neat way to add just a little splatter of color. No pun on the words. Okay. All right, so now we have that. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the marker, and I'm going to take the small tip, and I'm going to go through here, and I'm just going to make a couple. You know how you have some stamp sets that you got the little 3 dots, like 3 buds in a, kind of a strange 3 in a series. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to add some. So I'm going to come right to this area and I'm just going to hold my marker down, let it get the ink transferred to the paper, and then just make 3 dots. And I'm just going to do 3 sets of those. So I'll come down here because this looks kind of naked. And we'll do one here. And then I'll probably do one, let's do one in between these. Okay, so look at that. Isn't that nice? So that's just something else you can do to add a little bit of oomph to your card. All right, now, let's see, what else do we want to do? Okay, let's go ahead and add this to our card front, and then we'll do our sentiment, and then we'll get, we're going to add some pearls, but we're going to color those first. All right, so we're going to, let's add this to the card. I like to add my stuff to the card base first, to the square, and then we'll add this to here. We're going to put dimensionals on the back of the design. This will get glued down, and then the embossed piece, after we attach it, will get attached to the card base using dimensionals as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our dimensionals. And anytime I do a rectangle, I tend to put 6 on here. Well, actually I put more than 6, I put 8. So I do a row on each side of 3. And then I just like, so it doesn't like look like it's gonna fall, I kind of put one in between like that, okay? That's just the way I do it. You can put as many or as little as you want. I just wanna make sure the thing doesn't fall down, you know, kind of fall flat in the center, and this I think will help it. So let's get these off, and don't forget, always push your thumbnail, fingernail, whatever you have down in the center, and that brings your dimensionals up. If you have your take your pick tool, which I've got one somewhere, it must be on the other side of my desk. All right, so we're gonna lay this down here. I'll put him on first. Now this one, I'm gonna put this one a little bit at an angle, and I'm going to try, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Now what I'm going to do is this piece here is popped up because it's sitting on that. I'm going to bring this one under, but I still want it to be kind of cockeyed looking, and I'm gonna put a little dimensional just to hold that so it looks like it's not popping up and flopping around. All right, so I'm just gonna lay it something like that. This one, I tucked this one under, but I don't know if I like that. So I'm thinking I should have turned the white now that I'm thinking about it, but that's okay. I think I'm just gonna put this down like this, and I think I'm gonna add some adhesive, but I think I will add some little baby dimensionals. That way it's even with this piece right here. All right, so I'm going to, let me look at this again. I think I'll leave this one here, but I want it angled. So I know I'm gonna need 2 little mini dimensionals. So let me grab, where's my minis? They're in here. Hold on a minute. Here they go. All right, so I'm gonna put, if I'm doing this right, I'm gonna put one here at the top, on each top of each corner, right and left corners on the top of the, that way I can lay this down and that will hold, and I'll put one down in this corner as well, and then we'll add our glue. All right, so however you want this to lay, you don't have to angle it. I wasn't thinking, but I was talking too much. I could have angled that card, which probably would have looked a little bit nicer, and then done this straight. It would probably wouldn't, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna be fine. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take the backings off of these before I start adding adhesive so I don't get my fingers all over in the glue. Let's bring in our silicone mat. You definitely need one of these. I think they're $6. All of this, if you're new to my channel, all of these items can be found in my online store, and that information will be listed in the video, down below the video. So we're just gonna put a little bit of glue, our liquid, because this is easy to use and you can manipulate where you want it. So we're just gonna add it in a little fine strip so we get enough on here just to hold it in place. And you don't have to squeeze really hard. All right, and then we'll flip this over. And I'm trying to grab it without everything falling apart. All right, so we're gonna add this to here. So I know I want this to go like that because these were gonna be up a little bit. So I'm going to put this one down. I want this one down here. And then these three are going to be popped up. And I'm just going to let them lay where they go. All right, so that's glued, and that's got some glue on it. So that may not hold that down because those two. So I might put another baby dimensional right underneath here. So let me take off. And it could stay like that. It's probably fine. But I would feel more comfortable just making sure that it's anchored down. And a little bit of that is going to show. So let me just trim this off just a little. And then I'll tuck that under here. I'm going to use my snips because I can probably get it on there easier. See it sticking to my fingers. Come on. All right, we'll stick that right under here. And we'll get that twisted around so you don't see it. There we go. Oops, no, we do see it. Hold on. All right, there we go. We'll put that right there, and I'm just going to move it down. There we go. All right, so there's that part of the card. Now we're going to do our sentiment. So I've cut out in the nested essentials, there's a little small set of rectangles, and this is the smallest one. So we're going to stamp our sentiment on this, and we're going to, I'm using your Hello Friend, and I'm going to stamp this in the blueberry bushel. I'm going to stamp it up as close to the top as I can get, because I'm going to add some ribbon. Of course, that looks like I stamped it close to the top, doesn't it? Now, it's stitched, but if I flip this over, it's still going to have the stitched amount. But I don't know now because, and of course, I have it crooked. But, you know, it is what it is. And this is what I did the last time, is I didn't leave myself enough room to wrap my thread. So I'm going to turn this over, and we're going to try this again. I'm going to look at this. Give me 1 second. I might have to get my head in here. I'm going to try to make sure it's straight and get it closer to the top. Oh, that's much better. I think I'm going to go with that one. Because really, once we push this down, no one's going to notice our stitching is inside out. Right? And if they do, I'll just tell them it's the way it's supposed to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this just to give it a different little look. So we want to tear just a little bit at the bottom, if I can get it started. Just tear a little bit off. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it just kind of gives it, again, it's giving it not such a perfect look, and I can't even get it to tear. All right, hang on, let's do it this way. I can get it going. And isn't that funny? I can't, let me just cut it. Let's just get it started. There we go. Maybe I can tear it now. And we just want to get it torn. It doesn't have to be exact, but I don't want to tear a whole lot off because I'm going to wrap some twine around this, and we want to make sure we have room. Isn't this funny? I can't even get the daggone thing to tear. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. I got to use my thumb. All right, so we're going to just tear that down and tear that. Let me go this way. And tear that. This one's getting soft, so it should tear. You wouldn't think it'd be this hard to tear a piece of cardstock now, would you? This might be thick. I just grabbed a piece. I'm just going to cut that again so I can get it to tear for me. There we go. All right, that's good enough. Okay, so I've torn that. Now what we're going to do, that took a long time, didn't it? I'm going to put a little piece, because you know how when you I just want to wrap the twine around it. So I'm going to put a little piece of, oh, we want to do this one. This is the one that we want, right? This is the back, that's the front. All right, so we're going to put one strip of tear and tape to hold our twine so it doesn't fall out on us, right? So I'm going to put that right about here because I want the twine to be towards the bottom so it doesn't affect our sentiment. All right, so let's do that. I'm going to pull this off. I just got that piece off my finger. Hang on. All right, so we're going to take and lift this off, and then we're going to wrap 3 strands around the sentiment. So this is the back. So I'm just going to start right there where it's going to hold onto it, and then I'm going to wrap where I want it to go and try to hold it in place and try to get 3 strands if I can. If I can't, I'm not going to worry about it, but I should be able to because I can move this one up. There we go. And then we'll see what we'll do is we will cut that, and it's all attached on that double-sided tape that we use, so it makes it easier and holds it easier and better. All right, so there is our kind of, and I think tearing it kind of gives it like the deckled look, right? All right, so we're going to add dimensionals to the back of this. So let's come in with our large or full-size dimensionals, and I'm going to put one on each side, and we'll take that off. I keep forgetting my trash can over here. And then place this wherever you want to place it. It really doesn't matter. And we could put it up there if we want. This one I did down here. I think we'll put it right here. I think we'll move it. Well, we could put it here and move it over. Let's do that. Let's put it on this side. All right, and then we're going to add this to the card front, and we'll be done here in just a minute. We are going to add a couple of embellishments, and then we'll be done for the evening. Let me go ahead and trim off. I'm going to cut up to use some of my side pieces. That you don't want to throw these away because these are good pieces to use. So again, I'm just going to put on each side at the top. On the side, hang on, get one there, and then I'm going to put two in the center. I'll put one there and one there. Okay, doesn't matter what they look like because they all do the same thing, right? All do the same. So we'll peel these off. Get that one to come off because that one brings that little piece that got stuck to it off. Okay, plus they're easier to tear off this way. All right, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Leave me some comments and let me know. And again, if you have a need for any supplies and you're not working with a demonstrator, you can go to my online store and purchase these. Now I'm going to go ahead and place this on here. So this is for the embossed piece is a 4 by 5 1/4. So we're just going to lay it down. All right, there's that. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some pearls, but we're going to color them. If you didn't know you could do that, we're going to color them with our Blueberry Bushel Stampin' Right, the Stampin' Blends. So just take your large tip and just color whatever element that it is that you want colored. And then we're going to let it sit for just a second. Might as well color this one too because he got blue on it. And I kind of go around to make sure all the bottom parts are covered as well. You can see how it spools. All right, so we'll give that just a second, and then I think we might be done. So let's go ahead. I'm going to use my, of course I should be using my take your pick tool, but I'm going to use my paper snips, and I'm just going to place these wherever I feel like I think they need to go, and I don't want to smear the, because it's still a little damp. We'll put one there. And I'm going to put one maybe over, let's see, let's put one, where do I want to place it? Let's place one, I don't want up there, let's put one right here. And then we'll take one more, and we'll put this one, that looks kind of, no, I think that's fine. Let's put one right here. Now anytime you add these embellishments, I always take a piece of cardstock or vellum sheet or something and I cover it before I put it in the envelope to mail. That way it doesn't give it that bulk, so the post office doesn't freak out and have to charge extra money or whatever. So there we go. Here are our cards that we made this evening. And we'll move this one out of the way because that was our initial sample. So here's the one that we did. Isn't that fun? And then, of course, put your white piece on the inside and stamp whatever you want to stamp for the inside. And we have this piece right here. I'm thinking I might stamp that on the inside towards the bottom or something. All right, and then we've got our turtle card. Okie doke. So I hope you all enjoyed these cards. Make sure you leave me some comments. And I will see you when I get back. Thank you again. I greatly appreciate you all watching my tutorials and sharing them. And I hope you have a great Tuesday evening. And I will see you hopefully next week. All right. Bye now.